This call is now being recorded.
I actually heard it that time.
What? It's so
I
weird. You
fully
like
heard
never
it.
hear it.
I fully heard it. She was very loud this time. But anyways. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Paranormal, and we are your hosts. I am Rachel and Harold, and we have
I'm Kaz, and Spectre is joining me tonight. Chester's old and fuddy-duddy, so he asked for the night off. Actually, he didn't even say anything. He just was like completely looking off in the other direction, and Spectre was looking at me. I'm like, you made eye contact with me, buddy. It's you tonight. Chester's like, yes.
it's your time to shine.
Exactly. I should probably turn your thing
Yeah,
on.
I was gonna say I already turned Harold on, but that sounds really, really wrong. But anyways. Like super wrong.
Oh dear. And we're canceled.
Not surprised. No.
Oh boy. We're being
Oh!
silly.
This little bitch said happiness.
You turning him on as happiness?
or us being canceled.
Oh, we'll never know. Oh, belief.
No.
He believes that. We better not be canceled.
These two might have a really good back and forth because I know Chester does not like Harold.
I know. Chester seems like the older, mature one that's like, okay, everyone, let's just settle down and we'll have a good, easy, smooth podcast. And these two are like, so
This one is the shit disturber. And yours
just a little.
Inspector is the one that's like, yeah, this is fun. I'm doing it anyways.
Exactly.
I was looking at
naughty boy.
I was looking at his picture that I took of him at the old
Right
angel.
beside you.
Yeah, no shit. You're right there. I was looking at a picture of Spectre that I took of him at the old Angel Inn where he's just looking forlorn at the window.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, this is a poster for something because he's just out there and he's like,
I know.
he's just staring.
Like, all of the people I could be scaring. You
All
loved
it.
it.
The Little Mermaid.
Did you like looking out the window at the hotel? Looking at all the people passing by? Thinking of all the ways you could corrupt them and
terrify them.
Yes.
Scare them.
I liked the pose that Chester had where he's kind of just standing up, looking lovingly down the street.
like he was waiting for his long lost love.
Exactly. She'll come one day, boys.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Well, there isn't much new. He was waiting for Paul.
Paul?
Fuck is Paul?
Yeah, who is Paul?
Paul Jones. Mine says Jones. Shit.
I'm on it. Paul Jones. All right. We had, I think, a Jones last time. And I don't recall.
I think it was Pearl Jones.
It disguises itself.
Oh,
it
shit.
Disguises. Paul disguises himself.
As
or
Pearl?
It disguises himself as Paul.
Paul disguises himself as Pearl? It is June. It's Pride Month, so.
Oh, dear.
Whatever floats their little dead boats. But anyways. Nothing is new with us. Nothing.
No. Well, I went to the Beck house.
You did.
And that was
Which
fun.
I totally forgot about. Until
and
you
what's
sent me
really
at 2 a.m. and I was like, what the fuck is she doing up? She's never up at this time unless oh yeah, that's
I didn't even think about it. We were just sitting there talking and she's like, oh, they're redoing the Pioneer Village in wherever, Kitchener or wherever. Yeah. And I'm like, redoing it. She's like, yeah, they're reopening it. It's all like whatever. I'm like, I'm on it. And then I found it and sent it. I'm like, holy shit, it's 2:30 in the morning.
I didn't get it until I woke up the next. You're good. So
thank goodness.
It doesn't matter anyways, because Ryan usually sends me messages in the middle of the night as well. And then he's like, oh, my bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it was so funny because Ryan was outside and he he went to the Beck house Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I then went on the Friday. We didn't actually know until right before that we were going. And we had really similar experiences. But it was nothing crazy, which I think is probably a good thing for my friend. It was her first time doing any sort of ghost hunting thing ever. And when stuff would start to happen, she's like, what's going on? What's happening here? Okay. All right. But she was really good about like debunking things. And she'd be like, okay, well, let's see if we can figure out what it is. And I'm like, okay.
Mental note, do not bring her to Wildwood.
I know. Well, I was telling her about them because I'm like, it's such a shame. There's no.
Stay back.
Please stay back. No, we've got to go. That's what I have to tell her. Don't go to Wildwood.
Hey, funny thing is, Daniel Class just posted that June 20th, the Saturday, they all of a sudden have an opening at Hinsdale. And I was like, ooh. But I'm like, damn it, we're doing something else. I'm like,
I was like,
the other team maybe want to go to Hinsdale instead, because I'm pretty sure two of them would be like, yeah. But it's probably already gone.
And I don't think I can. I'm just coming back.
Oh, yours says desolation, and Harold said you are limitless.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I'm just coming back from my sort of vacation, so I don't know that I can
run away for another night.
I know. I should just not come back and just keep going.
Was extended another day.
I know. In another country.
Yeah, I just have to cross the border once. Don't worry about it.
Jimmy?
I got Reginald as well. Like before he said you are limitless.
Too many names, not enough last names.
Man, oh man. But Paranormal Seeker wise, we don't have anything right now until, well, we do actually have something this coming weeks, but when this airs, it'll have already been gone by. But the week that this airs, we have a
gift.
Aww.
Limitless and a gift. Or you are something, I don't know. But the week that this airs, we actually do have an event, well, an investigation with another team.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really excited for that. So I'm not going to say exactly just yet. You'll have to tune in and check the Facebook page for the Paranormal Seekers on the 20th. Because then you'll find out who we're with.
Oop.
And why it's very surprising.
Yeah.
We are watching you all.
They mean you harm.
Who means us harm?
We are watching you all. We mean you harm. Okay. Calm down.
Anyways. Which is just going to make... Really?
Eric.
What
the heck? We are watching you all, and here they are.
Apparently.
Okay.
Don't know who Christine is. Don't know who the fuck is Eric with a K. Eric with a K.
Eric with a K.
E-R-I-K.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyways.
There's probably... Let me just see. What? No Christine? There was a Paul in the other cemetery.
I'll have to check Union. Or St. Gregory's, or God knows what else is around here.
I know. Without the last name, though, there's no Christines. How are there no Christines?
Well, I'm sure there's tons of Christines at Union.
For sure.
But anyways, this is kind of tying into tonight's topic, which is the psychology of a haunting. And, the shit that makes us go, what?
Uh-huh.
Why'd my brain do this? Why does it think this way when, the paranormal is present and all that? So, you want to go first? Let's hop right into this before we sit here and think these two are like, what the fuck? I'd like to see in his brain, but I'm pretty sure it's hollow. Yeah, he's hollow.
Oh my gosh. Did you say you want me to go first?
Sure, if you want.
Absolutely. So, exploring the psychology of a haunting is a fantastic angle for us to look at because it shifts the focus from is it real to why do our brains experience it as real. So here are some sort of core, excuse me.
Like, I want to talk about this shit.
I know, he's like, boring, next. Some core psychological phenomena and scientific concepts that drive haunting experiences. So the first one I'm going to cover is called apophenia.
Name is Jack.
Okay, can we just wait?
I'm going to have a whole cemetery of names here soon.
So apophenia is the human tendency to perceive meaningful connections, patterns, or messages in random or meaningless data. In the context of hauntings, it explains our natural drive to interpret random shadows, creaking floorboards, or ambiguous sounds as signs of paranormal activity. So, if we look at it from an evolutionary concept, our brains are wired for hypervigilance. Ancestors who mistook a rustling wind for a predator survived, while those who mistook a predator for the wind did not. This creates a cognitive bias where we default to assume there is agency or intent behind random occurrences. In other words, that creaky floorboard could be a ghost. Many family memories of your ancestors being eaten by predators? That's sad.
It's like Jurassic Park.
Another one is pareidolia. I know that you're doing that, so
no, you can talk about it. It's pretty much the same thing.
It is. So this is just a subcategory of apophenia. It basically, pareidolia causes the brain to visualize recognizable shapes, most commonly human faces and figures in totally ambiguous stimuli. Yep. So I will let you go further deeper into that. Another one would be confirmation bias. What?
My name is Helen. So apparently my name is Jack, which is my grandfather who's passed. And then my name is Helen, which is my great-grandmother who has passed.
Well, howdy. Oh, and many family memories. And you're being judged by them both.
Probably.
So smarten up. Confirmation bias. Once the seed of a haunting is planted, apophenia works hand in hand with confirmation bias. If you believe a location is haunted, you will actively scan your environment for evidence that supports that belief. You will remember the one night the floorboard creaked, but forget the dozens of times it sat completely silent. What did it say?
Fuck you.
They hear me scream.
They hear me scream.
What? You know what, you little shit? You tell me to fuck off again, and they will hear you scream. Or they won't hear you scream. Because I'll bury you.
Is.
Are you going to take this shit
tonight?
You better stick up for me, Spectre.
He says fuck you too. Or eat shit.
I would appreciate a little comeback. So normal, explainable phenomena like temperature drops or settling wood are immediately filed away. You're going to distract him and then do some damage. He's coming for you, Harold.
No, it's because Chester has taken the night off, and Harold's like, I can fucking talk how I fucking want.
Exactly. Don't make me bring out Chester, okay? So when people enter a location that has a reputation for being haunted, they often see or hear something that correlates with that story as a means of confirming the story. They want to be part of the paranormal experience, so their brain conjures up proof to validate the story. Sorry, validate, not violate. Environmental triggers. Certain environments heavily amplify apophenia by... Oh, coffin. I have a coffin that's your size, you know.
It's called a shoebox.
No, the one my dad made.
Oh, yeah, the wooden one.
Perfect.
Listen, we've got matching ones.
Yes, you better watch it, Harold. Certain environments heavily amplify apophenia by providing the perfect blank canvas for the brain to project onto. Low frequency sounds like infrared sound waves below 20 hertz is known to cause feelings of dread, unease, and even visual distortions. Poor lighting, dim or uneven lighting, deprives the brain of visual data, forcing it to fill in the blanks using memory and expectation. And high carbon monoxide levels, known to cause confusion and hallucinations. This gas has famously been the culprit behind many historical haunted locations. So that's epiphania in a nutshell. Boom.
Well, we did do what we did. It's bad.
Bad.
Yeah. A lot of people experience this and make it seem like it's haunted.
Oh man! But we did do what was it? We did an episode on pareidolia. Well, not a whole episode, but we did a segment on that. I can't even remember what episode it was.
I think it was probably when we were like debunking some of the shows.
Maybe, or maybe it was like evidence stuff. I don't know.
Gone bad. I don't know.
I might have to go back and listen to everything and find out. Listen to all 78 episodes.
They're worth it.
Walk forward. No, I'm sitting on my butt. But anyways, all right, my turn. Okay, so one of the biggest factors that shape a haunting experience from a psychology point of view is fear, and more specifically our survival instincts that kind of go along with it. Hence, Project Fear. Yeah. So human beings are literally wired to detect danger. So long before we had electricity, security systems, or logical explanations for strange noises, our ancestors survived by reacting quickly to potential threats. So if something moved in the dark, if there was an unexplained sound in the woods, or if they sensed something nearby, hesitation could mean death. Right?
Shadow.
If they saw a shadow.
Literally. So that survival programming still exists today. But the problem with this is our brains don't always distinguish between a genuine threat and an unknown situation. And of course, the paranormal environment is full of paranoia. The paranormal environment are full of unknowns. So you are walking through a dark, abandoned building at 2 a.m. The floor creaks. You hear a distant bang. You suddenly feel like someone's watching you. Your brain immediately starts scanning for danger. At that point, your body can enter fight, flight, freeze, or even fawn responses. So have you ever seen a baby deer?
Yes, with a pancake.
Yes. So your heart rate increases, your breathing changes, your senses become hyper alert, adrenaline kicks in, and once that happens,
stay back.
Once that happens, your perception of the environment changes dramatically. So this is where the psychology of a haunting becomes fascinating. Fear can heighten ordinary experiences into extraordinary ones. Or extraordinary, I should say, not extraordinary. So a shadow in the corner suddenly looks human. A random sound becomes a footstep. A cold draft feels sinister. A coat hanging on a door becomes a figure staring at you. Packed. And the more afraid you become, the more you're
losing energy.
Good. The more your brain starts searching for patterns and confirmation that the danger is real. This is what is known as threat amplification. So your mind begins connecting unrelated stimuli together because it's trying to protect you. And that's survival. It's the same reason people jump after watching horror movies and suddenly every noise in their house sounds suspicious. Your brain is temporarily primed to expect danger. So this doesn't automatically mean that paranormal experiences are fake. It's because fear can absolutely distort our perception, but it can also be triggered by something genuinely unusual or unexplained. And this is the tricky part for paranormal investigators. When investigators enter a reportedly haunted location already expecting activity, they're often unintentionally amplifying their own psychological sensitivity. Darkness, silence, anticipation, creepy history, isolation, and group tension all combine into a perfect storm for heightened emotional responses. Even experienced investigators aren't immune to this. It happens to everyone.
You are embraced.
Great. In fact, sometimes experienced investigators are more vulnerable because they know all the stories, all the legends, and all the claims associated with the location, and their brains have already had a framework of what to expect or what they might encounter.
Wrong.
Actually, you're wrong.
So this is why good investigators try to remain calm, grounded, and analytical during investigations. If you
When did you arrive?
I've been here the whole time. If you panic every time something weird happens, your ability to objectively assess the situation disappears almost instantly. This is also why controlled environments, environmental monitoring, debunking attempts, and repeat investigations are very important. Can that noise be explained? Was there a draft? Was somebody nearby? Could EMF exposure be
Run
affecting
now.
someone physically? Was the witness already frightened before the experience occurred? So these are the questions that matter because fear changes how humans process information. There's also something else interesting about fear in hauntings, and that's emotional contagion. Fear spreads fast in groups. If one person panics, others begin to feel anxious too, even if they didn't initially sense anything themselves. One frightened reaction can completely alter the emotional atmosphere of an investigation. I've seen it. So suddenly everyone's on edge. Everyone starts interpreting events differently. Everyone becomes hyper focused on something being there. And once the environment becomes emotionally charged, experience often escalates psychologically. And that's why some of the scariest paranormal experiences happen in groups during high tension moments.
I'm hiding here.
Apparently, he's hiding here.
The environment then becomes
Wicked.
The environment then becomes wicked. The environment becomes a feedback loop. So fear increases awareness. Awareness increases interpretation, and interpretation increases fear. And then
I want you out.
What is happening with
Listen
you're
up
being
here,
a
bitch.
today?
You want to go back to your corner? Because you will.
Wow.
But at the end of the and this is ironically
We fought here.
we fought here. Ironically, some of the calmest investigators often report the clearest observations because they're not operating from a state of panic. And at the end of the day, fear and survival instincts are neither bad nor proof of the paranormal. They're just simply part of being human. But understanding how these instincts shape perception is incredibly important if we want to seriously explore.
Uncle.
Uncle Howdy.
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 Understanding how these instincts shape perception is incredibly important if we want to seriously explore the psychology behind hauntings and paranormal experiences. Because sometimes the scariest thing in a haunted room might not be the ghost, it might be what fear convinces us that is hiding in the dark. Ta-da!
Very true.
This little shit intercepts halfway through with his fucking peanut gallery comment.
So that leads into my next ones, which is all about psychology and emotional states. Many suppose hauntings can be explained by normal human psychology. Grief-induced hallucinations create sensory experiences of deceased loved ones. Suggestibility and expectation prime our brains to see what we anticipate, and sensory deprivation in dark, quiet environments causes the brain to fill the void with imagined sights and sounds. So, grief and bereavement hallucinations, a widely documented phenomenon where a grieving person sees, hears, or feels the presence of a recently deceased loved one. It is a normal coping mechanism and not a sign of mental illness. Bereavement hallucinations are common, natural, and benign reactions to acute grief. Well, this lady will attack people if you keep
Versus the
interrupting.
lady attacks people, and this one here says gentleness. Like she gently attacks people like that? What
I
the
guess
fuck?
so. Whatever, boys. So the grieving person may vividly see, hear, or feel the touch of someone who has died. Common reports include sensing a presence, hearing footsteps, or catching a familiar fragrance. Our brains are biologically wired to expect the presence of our attached figures. When a sudden hole is left in a person's life, the brain's unconscious predictive processing may mistakenly fill that void by generating familiar sensory data to cope with the separation distress. Studies show that a significant percentage of bereaved individuals experience these comforting encounters. Now, it's important to know that I am not in any way judging or ridiculing a grieving person who believes they have experienced the presence of a loved one. I, in fact, believe that our loved ones do indeed visit, and the way they show themselves is different for everyone. So if you believe you have seen, heard, smelt, or felt your loved one's spirit, then I believe you too. Suggestibility and expectation. The placebo effect of the paranormal. Human perception is largely driven by top-down processing, meaning that what we expect to see heavily influences our senses, what our senses actually register. People who enter famously haunted locations already have a preconceived notion that the place is haunted. When primed with the idea that the building is haunted, ambiguous environmental cues, such as creaky floorboards or shifting shadows, are quickly interpreted as supernatural activity rather than natural occurrences. Knowing a person was rumored to have died in the foyer or murdered in the basement creates a storyline in the person's subconscious, and they spend the night looking for things to prove that storyline. If the rumors talk about spirit children being seen or heard or felt, then likely the person will equate any little squeak or thump or even light touch to that of a child playing or seeking help. If the story speaks of a deranged lunatic rampaging through the hallways, then a person is likely to feel sick or anxious or on edge. The mind will look for ways to translate seemingly normal events, the house settling or floorboards creaking, a draft in an old home, into something paranormal. I always say I don't want to know about a building's history for that exact reason. If I know someone has died on the staircase, then
I like talking.
me too. Then I'm not able to trust if what I feel or see or hear on the staircase is in my abilities to tap into the supernatural energy or merely my subconscious drawing from a story I already heard about that location. My alarms are going off. The way a
it's
location
time to record.
Whoops. The way a location looks or its decor also plays a role in whether someone is more susceptible to believing the location is haunted. Abandoned hospitals or asylums or morgues are classic examples of this. People correlate sadness and death and madness with these types of buildings, and the visuals of padded rooms or operating tables and medical equipment can easily conjure up all kinds of deranged, ghostly encounters. Old buildings or Victorian Gothic decor can also lead to reports of feeling of dread, cold drafts, or even ghostly apparitions based solely on the premise dark and old must equal haunted. An example of where visual cues can conjure false paranormal experiences happened when we were investigating a paranormal village that we often go to. When we were filming one day, we were actually allowed to go into other buildings that we'd never been into before. One of those buildings was a schoolhouse. Now, I didn't feel or see or pick up on children or a general vibe of a schoolhouse, but one of our team members went into quite a story about how there were children there and they were suffering, and there was a teacher who was a bully and was really sadistic. But it turns out that that building was never actually a schoolhouse. It's just set up that way for display purposes. Now, I'm not saying that team member didn't pick up on that. I maybe the area, who knows? But what did I put here?
Don't be nervous.
Thank you. I won't be.
Scar.
What?
Scar.
So I don't know where I left off here. I'm simply pointing out the fact that she saw a room that looked like a schoolhouse and felt that children and a bad teacher had been there, but there was not actually any historical happenings along those lines in that building. There used to be a very creepy house down at the waterfront where I grew up. It was a massive old Tudor style house behind a hedged fence that scared the shit out of me as a child. It still scares me because I had to look it up to remember the name of it. And even looking at the pictures conjures up just terror. I highly recommend you Google Old Moot Hall, Moot, in Clacton. I swear this place was haunted and terrible things happen, and it's all based solely on the outside of that building, just by the way it looks. It could be lovely inside. It could have no history. It does have history. It's from like
I was gonna say, didn't they have an episode of some ghost show on it?
yes, I 100% think they did. But when I lived there, of course, that never happened. It was just driving past it.
Didn't Project?
Elisha.
I'm gonna have to look this up while you're talking, but I think Project Fear did.
Of Old Moot Hall in
Let me
Clacton-on-Sea, England.
Yeah, because they went to England.
Well, Google it now and look at the pictures and tell me that place is not terrifying. I'll let you all do that while I talk. But anyways, again, it's really based solely on the outside and the decor of it all. It could be a lovely place. It could have had a lovely family home that no one did anything, but it's freaking terrifying. It scared me so much. I even sent the picture to my sister. I'm like, remember? She's like, ah! We used to have to drive by it, and it would terrify me. Anyways, in psychological experiments involving fake seances, researchers discovered that roughly 1/3 of participants erroneously reported that a stationary table had moved. Yes, it was on the road. That scared me. Participants reported that a stationary table had moved simply because an actor who was planted in the fake seance suggested that it had. This is often the case during investigations. That familiar, "Did you hear that?" is asked of the group, and through fear of not wanting to be the odd one out, people can agree to hearing or feeling something that wasn't actually there. Through excitement, panic, or just plain fear, as Rachel was saying, a person might be caught up in the moment and believe they experienced something because their brain says, well, this place is dark and scary and reported to be haunted, and everyone else heard that, so I guess we heard it too. Same goes for EVPs. If someone is aware of a specific name in connection with locations, let's say the name's John, then they can very well be imprinted in the person's mind, and suddenly every voice, every whisper, every EVP sounds just like John.
Or when you put the damn words on the damn screen and tell people to listen and hear and see what they hear, and you put the word, that's what they're going to hear because they're...
Exactly. Half the time I'm like, if I'm not watching it and it's just background noise and it's like, and they're like, it said purple elephants. And I'm like, how did you get purple elephants from that? And then they play it again. And now that I've heard purple elephants and seen it,
Yeah.
that's what I hear.
And sometimes I'll be like, I didn't say that.
I know. The amount
I in my sleep.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to go, though, I think.
You can feel me, can't you?
No. And I don't want to. You can stay right there. So finally, sensory deprivation. In dark, quiet, and isolating environments like basements or attics, the brain gets bored and starts manufacturing its own sensory input to compensate. When the brain is deprived of normal sensory input, it does not simply go quiet. Instead, it actively attempts to create its own. People in dark, soundproof, or monotonous environments, like an old cellar or a quiet, barren room, often report seeing geometric patterns or lights or hearing whispers. Also known as the Gansfield effect, this occurs when the brain is starved of variety sensory information. Without external stimuli to process, the brain begins to amplify internal neutral noises. It projects these internally generated patterns outward, leading to auditory and visual hallucinations.
It leads to noise
Makes a noise.
and desolation in your
Oh
mind.
my gosh, in your mind. We're getting there, boys. You're listening. Studies on sensory deprivation have shown that as little as 15 minutes in isolation, an isolated dark room can trigger perceptual disturbances and paranoia in healthy individuals. This is why I really appreciate our team. We don't all hear the noises or see the things or feel the feelings. We don't jump straight to, this must be a ghost. Most times we go out of our way to debunk it, and no one is butthurt when we do find logical explanations. We work hard at disproving our evidence because integrity and honesty is important in a team. But it's easy to get caught up in the moment and jump to conclusions. But I find that each of us work so well with each other that we can all say, okay, calm down for a second. Let's evaluate what just happened and let's just debunk it. And that is important. And that's what's missing in most of these ghost shows.
Yeah.
Is immediately it's a ghost.
And we should also say, like, when we do our public investigations and stuff, people are always like, well, you need to tell us like what we're going to experience in these buildings, right? And I'm like, well, if I tell you that, then you're going to go in and expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he's
We're
lost
here.
But that's why we don't
You learn enough.
That's why we don't really say a lot, because then you're going to go in with these preconceived notions. For example, when we do Kawartha Settlers Village, you know, everybody wants a history of the building. So kind of give a brief
Name
history.
is Michael.
Hi, Michael.
We'll kind of give a brief history as, you know, at the beginning, and then more as we're in the buildings, because once you're in there, you're immersed in everything, right? So it's a little more. But like when we talk about the general store, I say a crime took place in the 80s in this store, and subsequently 2 individuals served time for it. I don't say what type of crime it was. I don't say what they were convicted of, right? Because if I say that, people are automatically going to think I'm going to experience this.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we investigate it as a group, this is where we do our big giant Estes method session. And we don't tell anybody about the story and let them ask questions, right? And see if they can get some answers. We tell the story at the very end of the night, because if we say, oh, here's what happened here, and this is where, and right, people are going to expect to hear noises or feel footsteps or literally speak
I'll
to
move something.
Good. Literally speak to a specific individual, right? So,
yep.
And they'll be listening for that name, and they'll be listening for, you know, words and things that associate with what happened. So, we don't say anything.
Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Jim.
I don't know. I've gotten Penelope twice, so I don't know. Anyways.
She's impatient.
Apparently.
You need last names.
I know.
How hard is that?
All right, so my next one is environmental influences. So when people think about hauntings, they often think entirely on ghosts and spirits and supernatural explanations. But one of the most important and most overlooked aspects of paranormal experiences is the environment itself. Because environments can have a huge impact on human psychology, perception, emotions, and even physical sensations. And honestly, some locations are almost perfectly designed to make people feel uneasy before anything paranormal happens. So think about the kind of places that most commonly are associated with hauntings. Pandemonium. Abandoned hospitals, old prisons, empty houses, asylums, basements, attics, dark forests, and isolated roads. These environments already trigger that psychological discomfort naturally. They're unfamiliar, they're quiet, visually distorted, often decaying. Lights.
Why is it lights with an apostrophe?
noise.
Lights is?
Lights.
What? Oh dear.
And they're usually filled with strange sound, old smells, temperature fluctuations, and unpredictable
Gentleness.
gentleness, sensory input. So our brains are constantly trying to interpret what's happening around us, and when the environment becomes too difficult to process clearly, the brain starts working overtime to make sense of it. So, and that's where environmental influences can dramatically shape the experience that is, happening. So let's start with something simple. We'll start with sound. So old buildings are noisy. Pipes knock, wood expands and contracts, floors creak, wind moves through cracks, appliances hum, water drips, electrical systems buzz. During the daytime, most of these sounds get filtered out because there's so much background noise competing for our attention.
Olivia.
But at night, in silence, inside a reportedly haunted location, every tiny sound feels amplified. And this is why paranormal investigators do things at night. Once people become hyper-focused on those noises, they start assigning meaning to them. So a random knock becomes someone's responding, a settling floor becomes footsteps, and a distant bang becomes a door slamming. And the environment creates ambiguity, and the brain just
Hunting.
The brain is hunting.
Mm-hmm.
The brain fills in the blanks. He's day hunting. Oh. So let's go to lighting, or more specifically, lack of lighting, because we look in the dark. Human vision is actually pretty terrible in the darkness. Our brains evolved to prioritize movement detection and threat recognition in low light environments. So when visibility drops, the brain starts making predictions about what it thinks it sees. So that's why shadows seem to move, why coats on chairs become figures, why reflections suddenly look human, and why peripheral vision becomes unreliable. And because paranormal investigations often intentionally happen in the darkness, investigators are placing themselves directly into conditions where perception becomes less dependable. All right. And now temperature. Cold environments naturally create discomfort. Listen, everybody hates outside. Cold outside in Canada in December. Fuck that. Your muscles tense. Your body becomes more alert, and you may develop chills or goosebumps. And culturally, people already associate sudden coldness with a ghostly presence. So when someone feels cold in a haunted location, their brain may immediately interpret that through the paranormal lens, even if there is a completely normal environmental explanation like poor insulation, drafts, or old ventilation systems. But environmental influences go even deeper than that. Flip my page here.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? She flipped the page.
Yeah. All right. There have been studies examining how certain environmental factors may physically affect the body and mind. For example, infrasound. So infrasound refers to low frequency sound waves that humans often can't consciously hear, but may still physically feel. Some researchers believe prolonged exposures to certain low frequencies can create sensations of anxiety, dread, uneasiness, nausea, or even the feeling of a presence nearby. Oh, and guess where these low frequencies can naturally occur? Well, old buildings, around machinery, ventilation systems, and wind interacting with the architecture.
Collapse. Yeah.
And then you have electromagnetic fields, or EMF, as we all know. So high EMF exposures from faulty wiring, electrical equipment, or appliances has been linked in some studies to headaches, anxiety, dizziness, paranoia, and again, the feelings of being watched. Now, obviously, this is controversial and still debated, but it is interesting because many alleged haunted locations are older buildings with outdated electrical systems. And this is an important part. If someone suddenly feels uneasy, dizzy, anxious, or emotionally overwhelmed in a location, they may interpret those as paranormal. Not because they're lying or that they're crazy, but because the human brain naturally tries to explain physical sensations using the context available. And if the context is this place is haunted, that explanation becomes psychologically powerful. So environmental psychology also plays a huge role. Certain spaces may simply feel oppressive. Long hallways, low ceilings, claustrophobic rooms, so tiny, tiny rooms, heavy silence, decay, mold, isolation. So these environments can trigger instinctive emotional responses because humans associate them with danger, illness, abandonment, and death. Even smell matters. The scent of mildew, dampness, rot, old wood, hospitals, or smoke can subconsciously increase discomfort and emotional tension. And the more emotionally uncomfortable someone becomes, the more likely they are to interpret ambiguous experiences as threatening or paranormal. And then you have the power of the atmosphere. This is something paranormal investigators know extremely well. So, two locations can have identical environmental conditions, but the one with the tragic history, ghost stories, and emotional weight will almost always feel more intense psychologically. Because the environment isn't just physical, it is emotional and symbolic too. And honestly, that's part of what makes paranormal investigating so fascinating. The environment itself becomes an active participant in the experience. Now, again, understanding environmental influences does not automatically disprove paranormal activity. And that's important because sometimes investigators fall into extreme. Either everything is paranormal or everything has a normal explanation.
Goodbye.
And good night.
Reality is usually far more complicated. Environmental factors can absolutely shape perception, emotions, and experience, while unexplained events may still occur within those same environments. But if we truly want to understand the psychology of hauntings, we have to acknowledge how deeply the human mind is influenced by the spaces around us, because sometimes the building itself may be haunting people psychologically long before anyone ever sees a ghost.
So true.
And you know what, a thing too, environment-wise as well.
Wave.
I did wave you goodbye. Thunderstorms, environment, like the weather can really make you think, like, can thunderstorms amp up the environment?
I know more. Let me
Right.
change the thing too.
But that's the other thing, like, you know, is if it's raining, is that's going to change the environment. Like, the environment outside is physically changed, so what is it going to do to the haunting environment? That's just my thing, right? Like, I've investigated during thunderstorms, and yes, we all have been told, you know, thunderstorms amp everything up. And have I experienced amped up activity? Yes. Was it amped up because of the storm? Maybe. I don't know. But it was kind of hand in hand. So maybe that's my own psychology being like, hey, let's put that in your head. But anyways.
Good will be. I mean, it's that old saying of, you know, people go to cemeteries and they're all freaked out because psychologically they're thinking death here, so ghosts must be here. Meanwhile, no.
Well, okay.
It's beautiful.
And putting this all together, like, that's no different than when we went to Hinsdale the first time, where we have seen so many shows on it, and it's describing all of this, like, awful stuff. And, you know, this, like, and you go there and you're like, shit's weird. Yes, 100%. Joanna. Like, shit's super weird. But we didn't experience anything that, right? Like, other groups have said, or it's showcased everywhere. Like, yeah. And it's creepy at night. Like, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and the only thing you can hear in the summer is fucking frogs, and God knows whatever else is in the fucking bush. Who knows if it's living or dead? I'm not going out to find out, but, you know.
That was great. A new world. Mournful.
Oh.
All right. Well, that takes me on to social and cultural contagion. So, mass hysteria. Entire groups, families, or workplaces can begin to experience the same haunting symptoms. This is driven by shared anxiety, social reinforcement, and the power of suggestion. Group hysteria during ghost investigations is formally known as mass psychogenic illness, or MPI, or social contagion. It is driven by heightened anxiety, physiological arousal,
Where am I?
and a natural human tendency to seek out patterns. When an individual witnesses others reacting to a perceived threat, their brain unconsciously copies the emotional and physical response. Social and cultural contagion explains how beliefs about hauntings spread through groups, transforming isolated personal anomalies into wildly shared, terrifying paranormal experiences. Driven by human suggestibility, the need for community coping, and amplified by modern media, these ideas ripple through populations just like a virus. So the mechanism. Oh my God, what just happened?
You
I'm just
glitched.
having a stroke. Continue on your day. The mechanics of suggestion and expectation. Collective illusions. In highly suggestive environments like a historical tour or a group investigation, I could be wrong, a person's gasp.
Are you staying?
Oh my gosh.
Listen, on something before you go, totally
I
unrelated.
was hung.
Great. I just realized that my sweater has decided to do my little off shoulder, just like yours.
I saw that earlier and I'm like,
Just realized that. Okay, anyways.
Is this just a generation of off
And it's the same
shoulder?
side.
I know. I love it.
Anyways,
Anyways,
go on.
well, power of suggestion.
Psychology, man.
Your shirt saw mine and was like, I do that.
Yeah, it's not even supposed to do this. But anyway.
So in highly suggestive environments like a historical tour or a group investigation, one person's gasp or claim of seeing a shadow creates a localized cognitive bias. The rest of the group quickly falls into a synchronized state of heightened alertness, experiencing contagious sightings. No one wants to be left out. Some really want attention, and thus suddenly multiple people have seen or heard the ghost that likely was never there in the first place. Did you hear that? Someone says, and suddenly many people have heard it,
16
yet
of them
there was nothing there to begin with. Sadly, people fake hearing or seeing things in order to fit in or to appear intuitive or powerful when they are not. We see it all the time during public investigations, and it is quite fun to watch the fakers, but can become a little annoying after a while. Emotional contagion. In highly cohesive groups, emotions spread rapidly. If one person expresses sudden terror, the fight or flight response kicks in for the rest of the group. This causes a physical feedback loop. People genuinely experience racing hearts, dizziness, or a heavy presence, indisputably, because they are reacting to the collective fear rather than tangible entities. Suggestibility and groupthink. Intense emotional or spiritual environments lower a person's critical thinking and increase, yes, we do research, and increase suggestibility. When a leader or a fellow investigator claims to hear a noise or feel a touch, social pressure causes others to validate and quickly opt the same experience. Sensory overload. Investigations typically take place in dark, isolated, and unusual environments like abandoned prisons or old asylums. I wish we had old asylums and abandoned prisons that we investigate, and that would be nice.
We do. We have them, but they're so fucking condemned that we can't even get into them. Or they're
They
so
want
owned by
insane money.
Corrections Canada, and we can't get in.
So this lack of normal sensory input can cause mild disassociation, where individuals feel disconnected from reality, further opening the door for hallucinations or misattributed internal thoughts. I can attest to this. When I was alone in apartment 301 in the Beck house, things started ramping up and I became so overloaded I couldn't think that a ghost was not about to come around the corner at me And so I bailed. I was so heightened at that point that anything easily explainable just didn't compute. And everything just took over and I was fucking terrified. Moving on. The power of storytelling and mimicking. Cultural script. So hauntings often adhere to a specific cultural script or templates. The wronged Victorian ghost, the poltergeist acting out due to repressed adolescence energy. Because these narratives are already deeply embedded in our cultural lexicon, it is incredibly easy for individuals to adopt them when trying to make sense of any uncanny experience. In the digital age, social and cultural contagion regarding the paranormal moves faster than ever. Ghost hunts are streamed and localized urban legends go viral globally. The internet acts as a massive amplifier, creating collective obsessions around specific haunted locations and cementing their lore. Visual contagion. When one person points out a face in a foggy window or a shadow, mirror neurons and social pressure make it highly likely others in the group will perceive the exact same hallucination. Group delusional dynamics. Move up. I did just move the page up.
Malediction.
Are you reading ahead of me? Is that what's going on here?
I thought I was going to say move on.
We've already been told to shut up. Group delusional dynamics. In extreme and localized cases, a localized haunting can trigger a condition as similar to folie d'eau, a shared psychotic disorder. A dominant, highly anxious individual conceives.
Oh, is it a filet of dough?
Yes.
Because
what did I
that's
say?
the filet
Filet
of
of
dough.
dough.
Because it's the name of the second Joker movie with Lady Gaga in it.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either, but that's what it's called. Because it's about a psychotic thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, good.
A dominant, highly anxious individual convinces close family members or roommates of an active haunting. The group members feed off each other's anxiety, validating the delusion and heightening the collective panic until it feels absolutely real to everyone involved. And that's true of many things. Very much like how you were saying the Hinsdale. So people pick up on like a story, let's say brothers murdering and eating people or something. And then the next group, knowing that, go in. You're moving away. I am?
Move up. You're moving away. And this one said, there's nowhere left to go.
Well, there you go. I can't move because there's nowhere left to go. So yeah, like these little stories suddenly span into massive things, and then everyone is witnessing the brothers Grimm that are there. Proposition. Oh, excuse me. And I do find like I don't know necessarily think our group is like this, but if you watch the ghost shows, you have the main, I don't know, investigator, and they'll be like, "Whoa," and then everyone's like, "Whoa," and then they all are
Listen,
roaring
if you all
around each other.
followed me, you'd all be standing there like, what?
And if we all followed Ryan, we'd never be in a building.
No, you'd be running. See, and that's
We'd
the
all be
thing.
in great shape.
Because like when you're talking about like how people like, you know, follow like the person that's leading and everything, I would be the worst. Like, you want to have a paranormal experience, don't follow me into a build. Just don't, because I'm like, what you heard? What? Huh? You saw what?
You're too busy looking for a comfy couch to sleep on.
I'm the best paranormal investigator. I'm investigating in my sleep. It's an experiment.
Yes. Well, I think it helps that we always break off into teams, because then
Settle here.
for that reason, if one person is kind of always running away, Ryan, then, you know, we're not all running or anything along those lines. And if we all followed like Jay, we'd all be creepily wandering around or sitting on the stairs alone at like 4 a.m. He's like the creeper.
He just, I don't know what he does.
1820.
1820.
1970s. What did you say? 1,820?
1820. 1820, 1970. That's a pretty big.
17.
Okay. What does it all mean?
They were 17 in the 1970s.
Crime.
Crime. Anyways.
There was crime in the 1970s.
Oh my gosh. So my last point for the psychology of a haunting is called the paranormal investigator effect. So one of the most fascinating and, again, honestly controversial aspects of paranormal investigations is something that we can call the paranormal investigator effect. So what that means is this. Sometimes the investigator themselves may unintentionally shape, influence, amplify, or even create aspects of the haunting experience. Now, before anybody grabs their EMF detectors in anger, this doesn't mean investigators are faking experiences. It's far from it. What it does mean is that human psychology, expectation behavior, and environmental interaction can all influence how paranormal activity is perceived, interpreted, and experienced. So in other words, the investigator is not always a neutral observer. Sometimes they become part of the phenomena themselves. And honestly, once you start looking at investigations through that lens, a lot of things start making sense. So think about what paranormal investigators do. So really think about what we do. So they intentionally enter emotionally charged locations, often at night, in darkness, after hearing stories about tragedy, death, violence, or ghostly encounters. Then they begin asking questions into the silence. Is anyone here with us? Can you make a noise? Can you touch this device? Can you show yourselves? Right away, the brain shifts into a heightened state of
over here.
Holy moly.
Right away, the brain starts to shift into a heightened state of anticipation. The investigator is actively expecting an interaction, and once expectations...
Graveyards hide secrets.
Do they? That's a new one.
What did it say?
Graveyards hide secrets.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Now I want to go investigate one. So, once the expectation enters the equation, psychology starts influencing perception in powerful ways. Every creak becomes important, every shadow becomes suspicious, and every random noise becomes something potentially intelligent. The investigator's attention narrows almost entirely towards finding evidence. And when humans intensely focus on detecting something, they often become hypersensitive. What's with all the numbers all of a sudden? And to ambiguous stimuli. So this is why investigators sometimes begin noticing patterns, connections, or responses that may not actually be intentional communication at all. For example, you ask a question, then seconds later, you hear a pipe knock. Now, psychologically, your brain immediately links those two events together because as humans, we are natural pattern-seeking creatures. We love cause and effect. Even if the sound was random, the timing feels meaningful. And the more emotionally invested someone is in the investigation, the stronger that perceived connection often becomes. So this is especially important when using paranormal equipment. A lot of ghost hunting tools produce ambiguous or inconsistent results by nature. Those include REM pods, spirit boxes, K2 meters, motion centers, ovuluses. Many of these tools react to environmental variables investigators may not fully understand in the moment. But because investigators are actively seeking communication, normal environmental fluctuations can quickly become interpreted as paranormal responses. And once an investigator reacts emotionally, did you see that? Whoa, it answered? That's intelligent. I don't think I've ever said that. The entire group dynamic
You
changes.
came back.
I haven't left, sir. So now everyone's attention is focused on reinforcing the experiences, and this is where social psychology becomes incredibly important.
I'm still
What's your
listening.
name?
What's your name?
You fucking know the name. So groups influence each other constantly during investigations. If one investigator becomes frightened, excited, or convinced something paranormal is happening, that emotional energy spreads rapidly. People begin validating each other in real time. I heard it too. I saw something over there. This room suddenly feels different. We've all experienced that. And eventually the group may collectively build an interpretation of events together. It's not malicious, it's not dishonest, but it's collaborative and it's part of human nature. This is something that we call confirmation bias. And this is when and where people naturally prioritize information that supports what they've already believed while unintentionally ignoring information that contradicts it. And paranormal investigators aren't immune to this.
Carriage.
Apparently neither is a carriage. If an investigator strongly believes a location is haunted, they may subconsciously interpret ambiguous experiences as supporting evidence while dismissing normal explanations more quickly. And this can happen on both sides. Extreme skeptics can dismiss potentially interesting anomalies too quickly, while extreme believers may interpret almost everything as paranormal. It happens on both sides of the spectrum there. This is why balanced investigations are so important. The best investigators usually sit somewhere in the middle, open-minded, but cautious. Another major factor in the paranormal investigator effect is emotional investment. Investigators, we want experiences, and that makes sense. People spend money, travel long distances, stay awake
I've been
all
here
night.
1,000 years.
Jesus Christ.
I like the toys, and I've been here 1,000 years. Anyways, people spend money, travel long distances, stay awake all night, and dedicate huge amount of times to investigations.
Witness.
You've been a witness to that, yes. Whether consciously or subconsciously, they're often pressured for something to happen. Especially if cameras are rolling, especially during live streams, and especially in public investigations.
Growl.
Please.
Growls.
Silence is psychologically uncomfortable.
I'm
And
upset.
sometimes investigators unintentionally fill that silence with interpretation. He's growling, he's upset.
I know. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, maybe because I'm talking, I don't know. A random sound becomes movement, static becomes a whisper, and equipment fluctuation becomes an interaction. And over time, repeated exposure to paranormal culture can strengthen this effect even more. So investigators begin learning what paranormal experiences are supposed to look like. Cold spots, shadow figures, disembodied voices, feelings of being watched, and sudden emotional changes. So once those ideas become embedded psychologically, the brain becomes more likely to notice
Bill.
Bill, and that's my other grandfather's name. Experience
What?
because more likely to notice experiences that fit those expectations. I'm not running.
Run.
And guess what? Paranormal television has amplified this massively.
Mhm.
So modern ghost hunting culture often rewards dramatic reactions, immediate conclusions, and emotional intensity. Oh, that sounds so familiar. But real investigations, they're often quiet, slow, boring, methodical, and filled with debunking attempts and long stretches of absolutely nothing happening. That sounds very, very...
It sure does.
And honestly, that's healthy. Because the more emotionally reactive investigators
Keep
become,
going.
the more emotionally reactive investigators become, the harder it is to separate genuine anomalies from psychological influence. Now, here's where it's going to get really interesting. Some investigators believe the investigator effect may actually go beyond psychology.
Don't leave yet.
There are theories suggesting investigators themselves may influence paranormal experiences energetically or emotionally. That emotions, attention, expectation, or even consciousness could somehow interact with phenomena in ways we don't fully understand. So whether you believe that or not, it raises a fascinating question. Are investigators simply observing hauntings, or are they participating in them? Boom, boom, boom. Could group emotions amplify experiences? Could attention itself shape outcomes? Could fear, excitement, and expectation alter the environment psychologically, or perhaps something more? We honestly don't know. But what we do know is this: the human mind is never absent from a paranormal investigation. Every experience is filtered through perception, emotion, memory, belief, culture, expectation, and again, group dynamics. And
Mhm.
understanding that doesn't weaken paranormal investigations. If anything, it makes them more important, because if investigators truly want to understand hauntings, they also have to understand themselves, because sometimes the biggest variable in an investigation isn't the
Maleficent.
ghost, it's the people searching for one.
Absolutely.
Hello, who are you?
What the fuck? You know who
What?
the Would you do you have amnesia all of a sudden there, Harold?
Hello, who are you? What's really funny, the reason I got up is because someone was banging on the door. So I heard footsteps and I was like, what? And then it was just someone coming up the front door. We don't use, you must
You
help.
must help.
We don't use our front door very often. So if someone comes up to the front door, it's really bizarre. But they were like, "Dun, dun, 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 dun," and I'm like, what the frick? So then I was like, oh gosh, I'd better go
Vengeful.
see who it is. So I just wanted to go look. And then I was worried they were going to come around the back and just come in the back door. And I'd be like, here with like cameras and
They
weird
probably looked
things
and was like,
talking.
all
But
right.
I hope they left. I don't know
You
who it
expecting
was.
anyone?
No, but sometimes friends of Mark just randomly show up.
Oh.
So, whatever.
Anyway, those were all my topics.
Mine too.
Oh, look at that. Great. That's the
I mean,
psychology of hunting.
yeah, at
My
the
brain
end of the day, the best investigators are the ones that do try to debunk it and go back to the same places with Andrea so that you can try and debunk things.
Mhm.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in the moment. Like it really is. How many times have we all been like, and then we're like, okay,
Oh, it was
just a
one.
second. So, and usually we find the
Wildwood is a really good example of getting caught up in that moment and then realizing afterwards it was nothing.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, there's been things that have happened where we just can't explain it, and we're like, the fuck, I don't know. And that also makes you wonder too, like how many times we've had different experiences every time. The first time was really active for us. When we went back again, we were kind of expecting similar, but it was different, right? So
Yeah.
how much of that affected, right? So it's interesting.
It is. It really is.
Very
I
cool.
do think the dynamics of a team too. So if you're all in the right mindset, if people are maybe crotchety, then it can kind of set things off for negative tone. So then maybe you're not picking up on as much stuff. Like all those things. I mean, the place we do not name, the first time we went there was off the walls crazy.
You must help.
You said that. And then when we went back the second time, we had a whole bunch of people with us, some of which were,
They thought it
you
was a
know,
joke. Or they expected the boogeyman to jump out at them and be like,
and they were just being really disrespectful, especially in our group. And so it created this like hostility, this negative tone. And so it just wasn't as active until they left. And then it went batshit crazy.
But we've had that with public investigations too, right? Like
Mhm.
I've had it like before you were part of the group. Like we had the location in Oshawa, and we had a bunch of people who thought it was a joke, and it literally ruined the experience for the other group, like the other people that were with us. That when we were like, oh, it's 11 o'clock, goodbye, and they left, we actually asked the other people if they wanted to stay a little while longer and have an experience, right? Because we still remember, like, it just the whole atmosphere just went
Yeah.
and then it was so, but yeah, Well, that's the psychology of a haunting, according
Mhm.
to.
You look familiar.
1960s.
All of a sudden, so we were getting all these names, and now we're getting all these dates.
I know. And
Numbers.
I've been running them through, like, so I've got Union, Devitts, and the other one that's near me. But
I wrote down the name. Hold on, I wrote down names because
eliminate which one?
eliminate.
Like,
Somewhere on here, I have some names. There we go. So I wrote down that whole Paul Jones. I don't know. But then while you were talking, he said Glynis and then Tom. So I'm like, is this Tom Glynis?
Tom Glynis.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, how do you spell Glynis?
Glynis. Oh, don't leave. They know.
Don't
Oh,
leave.
guys, this is over.
There's no Glynis. Tom, you said? I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a Tom. I'm checking your place. There's one Tom Shulga.
Check Thomas. I'm sure you'll find plenty of them.
Oh, there was a bunch just now. But no, none was that last name.
Or maybe it's Tom and Glynis. I don't know. Anyways. Well, that's the psychology of a haunting and why we're so fucking weird. But, you know. But if anybody has any input on this or they believe it and they've had experiences where, you know, it was influenced by something else or someone else, we would love to.
Did you hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. You've been talking. You know what? Actually, I did hear you. You've been talking nonstop all bloody night. But anyways.
You've
yeah.
been told off. Wah, wah, wah.
Maybe you can explain this psychology of a haunting here. Or maybe this is psychiatric scream. Yes. But anyways.
Scream. No, there's
But
no
yeah, we would like to hear
puzzle.
your thoughts on this and, you know, maybe how you put it all together. Or again, if you've had an experience that was kind of influenced by environmental factors or suggestion or group dynamics or whatever. And it kind of like, that's how your investigation went or how you perceived it. We'd love to know too, because, you know, it's all interesting to hear different angles of everything, whether you're a believer or a skeptic. So,
Yeah.
But anyways, that concludes today's episode, which is actually going to be quite long. What is next week? Oh, yes.
Ooh, it's a goodie.
Yes, it is. It's going to be psychic scandals. Da, da, da. So we're going to dive into some interesting. Oh, it's killing.
Killing.
We're going to be killing it.
Yeah.
The lights.
We're going to be killing the lights. Hey, that's a Britney Spears song. Kill the lights.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's a good one. Maybe we'll play it. I don't know. No, copyright.
Never mind.
Good song though. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about psychic scandals and go through a couple of like obviously y'all know who we're gonna talk about. Not gonna give anything away because I've got some good stuff. I made it funny too, because you know, you gotta laugh at it.
My name is Dorothy.
All right, Dorothy.
Let's see. Dorothy.
But anyways, that will be our episode. And then after that, we only have like 2 episodes left, I think. We've got we only have 2 episodes left, and then it's
My life was short.
summer vacation. Yay!
Whoop, whoop.
Because our first week off, we're going somewhere fun.
Nice. Dorothy, is your last name Lee or Brown? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
They'll speak when I turn this off, but that's okay. But anyways.
Oh gosh, there's also a ton of Dorothys at your place.
Oh, of course there is.
Ooh, Dorothy Ambrose. We always get Ambrose.
Oh.
What's your last name, Dorothy?
Chop, chop. We got to end this.
Oh, there's a Dorothy Gladys.
Oh. Hey, Dorothy, this is your chance. You can use Harold or you can Dorothy Beard.
Beard.
I don't think so.
Oh wow. Or
Nope.
Dorothy has a beard. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's a different. That's something different. Anyways, all right. Well, we're off. Another quiet weekend ahead for us for now, but hope everyone has a great week. Actually, this weekend won't be quiet because when this airs, we'll be doing other things. Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Darkness.
We'll be doing things in the darkness. Yep. Anyways,
Well, I think this weekend coming, so it would have already happened by the time this airs, is the first of the word Premier League football something soccer blah, 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 or something, some sports related thing that is in Toronto.
FIFA. It starts like today, tomorrow. I don't fucking. I'm not a soccer
It's like
person.
this weekend is the main major thing.
I'd
and I
rather
don't
watch. I'd rather watch men hit balls with bats.
Don't move.
I love that. Anguish. All
But
right, you
anyways.
two.
Oh man, have a great week, everyone, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side. Cause yeah, can't wait to talk about next week's.
Oh, it's gonna be so scandalous.
It's gonna be great. But anyways, have a great week, everyone, and bye.
Cheerio.